So, dear students, here we will have the new semester, third semester for computer engineering students. Here you have the subject of probability and statistics from maths department. So friends, during the semester, we will have to study all the chapters from this book one by one. Here, the code of the subject is subject code 313006. So first of all, I would like to say something to you about the subject. Here you will have the marking system is distributed in E, M, I and B portion for all subjects. But here for our subjects you will have the external examination is of 70 marks and this will be conducted through GTU. Then mid-sem examination will be of 30 marks. This will be handled by college. That means in college examination you will have to get marks out of 30. Then for internal and for viva portion there is no mark in this subject. Here I have decided one thing. The 30 marks I have bifurcated into two parts, 20 marks and 10 marks. We will take college examination of some of the marks. Then whatever you obtain the marks, this will be converted out of 20. Then 10 marks is out of your performance. The performance means the lectures, how you are attending, how you are asking the questions, how you are preparing the assignment, tutorial, etc. Based on this, I will put some marks out of 10, and the total will comprise of 30 marks. So this is the marking system of GTU, and out of 70 marks you will have to obtain 23 marks minimum, and out of 30 marks you will have to obtain minimum 12 marks to pass. So friends, this subject is very easy to learn for you, because here you will require some understanding regarding the subject, and you also know from your school that about the probability and statistics. So here also we will use those concepts during our study. I think you might have forgotten the concepts of probability and statistics, but we will revise such things, and whenever I will come to the points, then you will realize that yes, this is the point that we have seen in school. So you will also recall your past days and past study learning with this teaching. So now one more thing here I would like to add here, that during after the lecture I will give you some of the examples, and in the remaining time of the lecture you will have to solve these examples yourself. During the solution process, that means whenever you try yourself, you will have to, if you find some query, any difficulty, then you just note down these points on a single paper. Then you can ask me such questions through Google Classroom. The link of the Google Classroom we will provide to you in your WhatsApp group. So through Google Classroom you can post your queries, problems. Also, if you require your solution urgently, then you may call me. I will solve your queries. So you must try and practice yourself, because mathematics is the subject of practicing. It is not a subject of reading only. So you must require practice every time. So one more advice to you, that after the day you can revise your topic whichever is conducted during this lecture. During this means in all coming lectures. So this kind of care you will have to take. One more thing, that I will in tutorial, you will have tutorial of 2 hours. During tutorial what you will have to do, that I will say you. I will put some of the questions in Google Classroom, or otherwise I will send you the scanned copy of the questions with answers, not with solutions. You must not hear that. I will send you the questions with answers. During 2 hours, you will have to solve this tutorial questions. And once again, during the solution process, or during attempting the questions, if you find any query, you can post your queries in WhatsApp group during these 2 hours, or at any time. If you will ask me the questions, if you will put your query during the tutorial through WhatsApp group, then also, or you can also send me the queries directly on my WhatsApp, or you can call me directly. I will solve your difficulties. And here, after performing tutorial, you will have to prepare one notebook of tutorial. On the first page, you will have to write down your name and roll number, etc. Then from the on the second page, you will have to prepare the index. That means writing serial number 1, topic number, topic name, and date and signature. Because at the end of the semester, you will have to submit this tutorial notebook to me. And also, whenever I will ask you, or whenever on demand, you will have to submit tutorial by scanning the pages to me through Google Classroom. But this is to send when I will demand from you. You can demand, but before of that, but the main thing is that you must solve your queries by sending your questions through any kind of post, because this is the basic requirement for you. Now, here in this subject, we will have some of the chapters, just like probability, then we will have random variables, probability mass function. Probability mass function, that means in this chapter we will see about binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, normal distribution, etc. And we will see their properties. Basically, examples are very much important here. Then we will see about measure of central tendency. Measure of central tendency means this chapter will include arithmetic mean. You already know what is arithmetic mean, but here also we will have to learn the same thing: arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean, median, mode, etc. Standard deviation, because each and everything which I told you, the topic names you have seen in school level, but here we will see this in a different way, or some topics are very similar to those of school topics. Then we will see other chapters one by one. Now we will start our chapter with the topic probability. So probability here is a very simple thing. It based on some experiment. Experiment can be held in two ways: theoretical experiment and practical experiment. practical approach or theoretical approach. But in probability, we will mostly rely on practical approach. That means we collect some of the data based on the experiment. And this experiment is held in a random way, random experiment. We can consider, suppose just like we toss a coin. This is the random experiment, because how to toss the coin, that there is no need any explanation. Tossing a die, etc. So this we will call as random experiment. The experiment which we held randomly is known as random experiment. Then one by one we will go. We will try to understand each and every terms very in a simple language. After then we will have the term a trial. Trial, that means during the experiment we held the cases one by one. Suppose, as a simple example, we toss a coin one time. The result we don't know whether it is a head or tail. But when we toss the coin, this means that it is a trial. It is a single trial. Once again, if we toss the same coin, this is the second trial. So in this way we can perform the trials, number of trials whichever we require in our experiment. So if we require more trials, we can perform it very simply. Then we come to the new term, sample space. Each and everything are very simple. There is nothing is hard. Examples will also very simple, but you will have to go logically. That means you will have to understand the question, because here the size of the question will be lengthier, but the solution will be very smaller. It is very smaller as well as simple. So sample space means what? Sample space means during the random experiment, whatever the results we get, and the collection of such results is called a sample space. Suppose we consider a random experiment of tossing two coins, and we will consider only a single trial. Then if we toss two coins, then we have different chances to appear head, tail in any order. Suppose we write down all these things in here. The first one, we will denote H for head and T for tail. So first one we write for first coin, and second one we write for second coin. So we have the chances there. We may have H. That means on first coin there it appears H. On second coin also it appears H. Second thing, on first coin it may appear H. On second coin it may appear T. Then on first coin it may appear T. On second coin it may appear H. On first and second both it may appear tails. So here we have four different results which may arrive, and we can put this into the set form. So everything is included. Every results have been involved in this set which we got during the random experiment, and the collection of such results is known as a sample space. So sample space is the collection of all the results. If we toss one coin and one dice together, one coin and one die together. Die means you must be knowing what is a die. It is just like a box type. It involves 6 numbers on 6 faces. it has 6 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So in this case we can get H1, that means on coin H, on one die it is one number, H2, H3, dot dot dot, H6. Then it may also appear T1, T2, T3, dot dot dot, T6, etc. So this kind of situations we can get, and the collection of such results is known as the sample space. SS is abbreviated form. We will write down SS. And this happens during the random experiment when we toss a single coin and a single die. And one more thing here I would like to add that here the same H and H sometimes we may also write we may put into the order pair, into the bracket H comma H, second one is H comma T, etc. This one also we can write as H comma 1, H comma 2, etc. So we can also write in this way the elements of the sample space. Now we will see another term, event, and this is the main thing. Repeatedly we will use this word during our study of probability. Event means, in a simple term in mathematical form, I would say that any subset of the sample space is known as event. Any subset of a sample space is known as an event. So probability chapter totally based on the word event. There can be one event, two event, three event, whatever is there. Suppose, actually this is in the mathematical term. Suppose here the one event is say E1 from this sample space. E1 means to get head on the first coin. During the tossing of two coins, whatever we get elements, we put them into the sample space. Then we put more weightage on this sample space. That means we require some particular thing. Particular thing means we want head on the first coin. So in this case, we will have head on first coin. That means H and H will be there, or H and T will be there. So two elements this event will involve. And we can see that this is the subset of the sample space. Suppose we consider another event. The another event means that head should appear on both the coins. So when head appears on both the coins, then we will have only a single element, H, H. This is also the subset of this sample space, you can see. So this even and E2, whatever I have explained, this is in terms of verbal form. That means in words form, and the definition which I have given here, any subset of, this is in mathematical form. Okay, so I think you must have understood what is event. Event is nothing but a subset of the sample space. Sample space is nothing but the collection of all outcomes. Actually, one more thing here. One thing you should note that outcomes, this word also we will use repeatedly. Outcomes means during the experiment, whatever the result we get is known as an outcome. Suppose during the tossing of two coins, we get HH, this is the one outcome. We get HT, this is the second outcome. In this way we can get outcomes. Suppose we toss single coin, then we get H or T. These are the outcomes. These are the outcomes. That means sample space, in other words, we can say that sample space is the collection of all possible outcomes during which we obtain during the random experiment. An event is the subset of sample space. Now, let us see some of the types of events. But before of that, I would like to refer here about sample space. Sample space are of two types. One type is discrete and second type is continuous. At present we will not use these two words, but in the another chapter we will make use of these two words, discrete and continuous sample space. So a sample space is said to be discrete if it contains finite number of elements. That means the elements which we can count. But if the sample space contains infinite number of elements, that means the elements, number of elements involved in the sample space is not possible to count, is known as continuous sample space. Now we go for the types of events. First event is equally likely event. Equally likely event. Here event you must remember. Once again repeating, event means the particular type of the experiment, that is during the experiment the particular type of result which we want is known as event, or in other words it is the subset of a sample space. So event is said to be equally likely when one event does not occur more than the other. That is, there is homogeneity in the occurrence of events. For example, that means actually in other words we can say that the event which has equally likely chances of occurrence. Suppose we toss a coin. When we toss a coin, then we may have two outcomes, head and tail. So head or tail have equal chances of occurrence. So this kind of event is known as equally likely event. Then we will see another type, mutually exclusive events. So whenever we talk of mutually exclusive events, that means we are considering more than one event, because it is just a comparison between the two types of